Welcome back to Fabulous Beyond. This is episode 4 with Ernie Sparkles and my amazing special guest today. It's a very special week for her. She's just become a doctor. Dr. Slug, the fabulous Dr. Kate Knowles. Hiya, babes.
Oh, hi babes.
How are you?
I have never been introduced like that before. I don't think I ever will be again, so thank you very much.
You're very welcome. Nice to see you. So I'm sat in your warehouse.
Mm-hmm. Welcome.
I'm sat in your warehouse eating
strawberries.
strawberries.
Really tantalisingly.
I'm just gonna like sexy strawberry eating.
Yeah.
You turned
really
on right
turned
now.
on already.
Would
Would you like me to feed you?
Finger and grape. My favourite two things.
I cut my nails especially.
So, for those of you who don't know, Kate Knowles is one of my favourite things.
Stop it.
We met a few years back, and I have lots of really good conversations with Kate.
Oh, yeah. We do have a good
lots,
chat.
don't
We do have
we?
a good chat.
Started when we went on a nice dog walk to the waterfalls and put the back on.
God, yeah. Yes. I remember that. We'd met once before, and you took me on a walk with Bodhi the dog.
Oh, Bodhi.
We set off in the car. I like her journeys because I think it's really easy to talk to people when you're sitting side by side and you're going on a journey.
Yes.
And then we got there and we made up a whole trail, didn't we, of performance that was going to happen along the trail that as we were walking it.
Yes, we were
there
having
were
a
people
walking cabaret.
jumping up from behind trees and sort of stuff.
We did.
Yeah.
We should do that.
I can't remember what happened.
No, I can't either, but I'm sure
there
we
was
can
a
think of
horse
something.
at some point.
Was there a horse? What did the horse do?
It was white, and it appeared, and then it.
Did Susan Boyle pop up and sing Wild Horses or whatever that song is?
Yes, of course. But that actually happened in real life.
Oh my god, no. Was it with you when I did that walk? Or was it, maybe it was with Owen, but basically I saw an angel.
I think you might have been telling me the story about seeing the angel with Owen.
Okay.
And that's why the horse appeared.
Yeah, so I was walking up in the, you know when you meet somebody and you don't even meet them, but you sort of come across somebody and you just sort of, they take your breath away.
Yes.
And you don't really know why, but there's just like a, yeah. So I was walking with Owen to the waterfall, and as we turned a corner, it was a guy on a horse, and he was riding bareback.
I love it. It's a sort of guy.
And he had a hoodie on and jeans, and he just sort of came out of the woods on a horse, and it was just so like, oh my god, it's an angel.
Creature, yeah.
And he just sort of walked across the path and into the woods the other side. And it was magical. You get those moments with people.
Yeah. I suppose rarely, but like, yeah, sometimes someone appears as if they're in another world. They just kind of come out and they look like they're just on a mission to some other, like in a completely different kind of world from you, and they cross your path and you're like, you haven't even noticed that I'm here. Like, maybe I'm invisible right now. Like that sense of, exactly. Like you are so wrapped up in something.
Yeah, it was kind of like, like that. Or
I'm trying to think of an example of when I've met someone like that, but I can't think of one right now because, my memory doesn't work like this. I can't command a story just like that.
You don't remember the angels.
No, but you know when it happens. I know when it happens. Yeah, like that. And I think I do. Well, it's funny actually. Recently, I think I might. Well, I feel like I've been that person for people recently because I've.
Been an angel.
I don't want to just blow my own trumpet too much. No, not an angel, but like a weird apparition. So I've started
standing on the end of strangers' beds while they're sleeping.
No, that's normal. You know that's normal. Well, I've started riding my mini bike around town.
Oh yes.
As like a functional, just as my normal bike. So I on this bike, I'm probably about what, a metre off the floor. My head's probably a metre off the floor.
Yeah.
And my knees are kind of up around my ears, and I'm pedaling furiously around.
You look like a small possessed goblin.
Yeah. But I wear my normal clothes and my normal jacket and a little rucksack, and I just set off with a massive grin on my face. And yeah, just, well, I guess the looks that you get from people and the smiles and the, oh, what is that?
Ooh.
But yeah, it's just kind of delightful, and I guess it's a bit like the horse. Maybe it's a bit like the horse. Some people, I come pulling out of a side road and there's this little goblin on a bicycle. But yeah, and interestingly, you get a really wide berth from traffic, so it feels like the safest, at once the most vulnerable and the safest way to travel around town.
On a mini bike.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, do it, kids. And it's nice to feel small as well, to feel that tiny.
Do you like feeling small?
Yeah, love it. Yeah. I mean, normally I feel so superior, obviously, so it's nice to...
So, none of you can see Kate Knowles, but she's actually 7'4". And no, she's not really, but she is an almighty presence. So tell us about why did you get a pie on your head?
Oh my god, yeah,
Tell
this
us
week I
about
had a pie
that.
on my head. Well, that was another funny dressing up occasion. So this week I graduated from my PhD, and I know.
Congratulations!
Love. Yeah. So I started this in 2010.
Yeah.
And this is now 2017. So it's been a rumble. But
What
yeah.
was it in?
I was looking at sustainability in cities.
Mm-hmm.
How much detail do you want me to go into?
Not too much. It's not that fabulous.
No,
but...
it's not fabulous. But the outfit was kind of fabulous.
Yeah.
It was. Yeah, it's fucking. And kind of weird because you go through the whole of the degree and there's, you turn up in your flip flops and your scrucky jeans and you look a mess most of the time. And then on the last day they slap this, you hand over your money and you hire this gown and they slap these silks on you and a pie hat and give you a fake scroll and you stand in front of a fake library.
Yeah.
You have some photos taken and then there's a procession.
Yeah.
And it's just a strange performance.
It is, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. And walking down Queen Street in that regalia, like passing shoppers.
Did you feel like Harry Potter?
I don't really have a great connection with like Harry Potter, but I did feel a bit wizardish.
Yeah.
I felt a bit like a postbox. I looked a lot like a postbox.
Yeah.
A photo taken with a postbox. I felt quite at home. I felt... Yeah, just really fucking important. Am I allowed to swear on this?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
it says explicit on the because I can't control the
I
F-bombs.
can't control it.
So yeah, I marked it as explicit so we can say whatever the fuck we want.
Fuck it.
We have fuck, shit,
Fuck
tit,
you.
twat.
Willy.
Can't say Willy.
Oh.
Can't say Willy. You can only say cock. Sorry, listeners. Getting distracted. So yeah, you wore a pie hat, and you did like a whole Q&A. Oh, that's amazing. But what now?
What now?
What's next in your chapter?
Next.
So you've got this fabulous warehouse. I mean, before you had it, it was art studios. Yeah.
It was art studios, and it was advertised as a light industrial unit. So I guess that's kind of like a builder's yard, isn't it? Light industry.
Light industry.
Light industry.
And we call it the lid.
Well, we used to call it the lid, but it's been renamed now, hasn't it?
To what?
It's called Foxy's now.
Foxy's.
What? Foxy's like a bad strip club.
I'm still calling it the lid.
Oh yeah, me too.
Yeah. Even though it's called Foxy's.
Yeah, 1 Fox Lane, that's its official title, which is also its address, which I find a bit strange because it's an address. But anyway, yeah, well, we're making a... Yeah, basically, well, I don't know. I've described this in many ways. Sometimes I say I'm gentrifying Adamstown, which is my least favourite description of it.
Well, I don't think you're gentrifying it because the sort of people that you've got here wouldn't really be described as gentry.
Except when they wear their graduation robes and walk around Queen Street, doffing their hats.
Yeah.
We do. It's a workspace. It's a space for people to come to work, for small businesses and lonely freelancers.
Yay! I did one of my first freelance projects here, actually, making little models. You very kindly gave me the desk.
The little desk under the stairs.
Yeah.
Oh, you were so cute. Yeah.
I liked working here.
Yeah, I loved having you here.
It was lush.
Yeah, that was when it was a building site. I remember
it was.
trying to pull the window out of the wall while you were sitting making models.
Oh,
that room downstairs.
We smashed all the wood off the walls as well with those.
Yes.
It was great fun.
Yeah, I remember you coming down being furious and just smashing MDF boards off the wall. Yeah.
But you've done so well.
We've done transformation so far. We've done building transformation.
And you've got what have you got here? You've got website designers,
ceramicists, with a big kiln, massive bread oven. There's going to be a kitchen space.
Bakery.
There's going to be shared desk area. There's this big room here which is for people to do things.
What things?
Oh, just anything that's
Anything.
nice and sociable and, it's getting together and doing stuff. It's it's still very open at the moment, and I'm hoping people will...
It's quite a diverse mix of people and industries or sectors, I guess. It's fabulous.
Ah, fabulous. Is it? Is it, though?
Well,
what
it?
is fabulous?
Well,
Fabulous?
that's what I was just about to ask you, because
God.
that's probably that's the question I open the podcasts with all the time is, what is fabulous?
So we're segueing into it from...
Yeah,
Builder's yard.
we try and get a little bit about our guest first, because, obviously I know everything about you. I need to get a pen and paper so I can take notes.
Quick, go. Oh, God.
Because, I'm such a professional journalist.
Yeah, right.
And in my years of training in journalism at Sparkles School of Journalism, I was told to take notes. I don't fucking know what I'm doing, basically. But... I always start with a little chat about who you are.
Who am I?
We do a seamless
So if we covered
segue.
that, do we know who I am now?
Well, we know you've got a pie on your head. We know you're a doctor. Anyway, this very seamless segue has lasted 3 minutes. I think that's good. That's probably my quickest one yet.
We are smooth.
What is fabulous?
Oh, God, what is fabulous? One thing that I was thinking about was when you were reading out the dictionary definitions of fabulous.
Yes.
Recently, I can't remember when.
Do you remember what they were?
One of them was about things being big or like extraordinarily large.
Yes.
And the other one was about them being somehow like magical, was it? Or something like...
Mythical.
Mythical.
So basically my ass. Big, fat and
Brings
magic.
those two things together beautifully. Two separate definitions, one objectified ass. Boom.
Maybe that's... With the help of Dr Knowles, I think we have cracked the question.
Crack.
No pun. No pun intended.
No pun. One of the things that I find interesting about this is sort of fabulous or mythical to who? So one of the things we've talked quite a bit about is like creatures, isn't it? Sort of which creatures are fabulous, and like we've talked a lot about slugs.
Yeah.
Because that's one of my favourite topics. And we talked a lot about... I was quite interested in the land slugs, and then since like this conversation's evolved, and then we've been talking a lot about sea slugs who have like... Look them up.
So all of you...
Listeners, people, go, just Google them.
Go on Google now and
just,
type in
like,
sea slugs.
Feast your eyes on the sea slugs, because... especially the ones that live in the tropical waters, like in the coral reefs, are absolutely magnificent, and they are Like, we just both looked at them, didn't we? And we were like, fucking fabulous. They're just amazing.
They're the drag queens and showgirls of the
ocean.
ocean.
Of the underwater.
Yeah.
Yes.
They really are like, you wouldn't believe that they're things. Like, I just, because what was it? It was Tavy, wasn't it, mentioned? Have you seen sea slugs?
Yeah,
and we immediately Googled it and
was
we're like, oh my god, like, how do we not know about these things?
Well, I already thought the land slugs were really fabulous, but then, like, the sea slugs just take it to a whole other level.
But why is a land slug fabulous?
Okay, okay, yeah.
Oh, you
okay.
got something to finish?
Yes.
Finish it. I'm doing my really good journalism here.
But what I was going to say was to a sea slug is normal, right?
Yeah.
So they're only fabulous to us because they're different or they're unusual and we don't hang out with them. But to the sea slug, the other sea slugs are pretty average. So I think that's one of the things that I find interesting about fabulous is that it depends on what your normal is. Like, it's so subjective, and so that's one thing. I think that's one thing to explore a bit. Is like, for me, I mean, the sea slugs are fabulous, and for you, and you know, it's those colours, and it's those forms, and it's the way they move, and it's the things they do, and their whole like.
But they're beautiful, and they're sort of like very frilly and very colourful, and they got really bizarre, like the shape of them, and they do look like drag queens.
Yeah, and I think that's the thing about them, which also comes like that first definition is about like the extraordinarily large and the like flamboyant, the kind of like maxed.
Yeah.
Unnecessarily.
But they're
seemingly
also absolute bitches because they just like they chase each other around and swallow each other whole. They're like, no, sea slug, you're on my patch, and then swallow it whole.
They do. They'll eat each other. Yeah. So what you're saying that they have a bitch.
They're basically drag
like
queens.
Yeah.
Or anyone in the cabaret industry, or anyone just in general. I think we're all a bit like that. But I don't know. I haven't eaten anyone recently. Maybe it's time I did.
That's because you've been
nice. Because I've been what? No, I'm going to say it. Everyone's wondering now.
I know.
And so am I.
So am I. I don't even know what I was going to say. I thought something had come to me, but it didn't.
And this, ladies and gentlemen, is why it took 7 years to get a PhD. So
you're not
sea slugs. Sea slugs are fabulous, but really, because they're extraordinary. And they're fabulous. They're beautifully coloured, and they do
it's
like
kind of an extravagance, isn't it? Like kind of like.
So, but why is a slug slimy brown sausage in the garden that destroys everything? Why is that fabulous?
Oh yeah. So the lands. Okay, coming back to the land slugs.
I mean, you're probably the only person in the world that I've ever met that is proper into them.
I find them really fascinating.
Why?
Okay, so first of all, they've got this like magical kind of glittery trail they leave behind them. So like, you know, when you go out on like, you notice it often like on like September or winter mornings, and you go outside and you can see like on the paving stones, and they've left these like glittery trails.
Yeah,
that's fucking magical. Like it's really beautiful, and like to a human eye who likes glitter, looks kind of fabulous. And you're like, oh wow, they've been like hanging out or like, slithering around all night. What they've been up to? Like, so I don't know. I find them intriguing. Like, there's that like little glimmer of like, what is their life like? What are they doing? They're like these little underground creatures. Come out at night and do things. So there's something kind of fabulous, mythical, I suppose, about, and maybe that's where it started from, was that I kind of knew a bit about them and I didn't really understand them. I wanted to kill them first because they were eating all my vegetables, and then I was like just really curious about what their lives were like, what they were about. And so then I don't know, I started finding out about them, and they have some really seemingly quite like fabulous characteristics. So, for example, they're like eat their own body weight. It's like several times over each day. Like, imagine that. Like, that's a fabulous amount of food relative to, like, imagine eating
I think
your
if
body
I
weight.
ate that, I would be producing sparkly slime that just came out of me wherever I walked.
The slime they produce has incredible qualities. Like,
and that you can't wash it off.
it repels, yeah, exactly, yeah. It repels water, and it also allows them to move. And why I was thinking of that was because humans have created things, really useful things based on slug slime. So, like,
Gunge
gunge tanks. No, okay, I'm gonna do it. It's so serious, these buckles. I think it was fact check this, people. Panels for a greenhouse,
Right.
which absorb water and keeps. Oh, I don't know. Their performance. It was something to do with how it performed with water, which meant that it pulled water in and it shaded the greenhouse enough that, oh fuck it, I can't remember. But it was this really clever invention, and then you could grow food in an otherwise inhospitable environment, and the design of it was based exactly on slug slime. But also, slugs have absolutely fabulous sex. Like, so the other thing that their mucus can do is that they can spin it into a cord so that they can hang off a wall and writhe around over each other for like hours. Mm-hmm. And this is one of the most beautiful things I think I've ever seen, is like 2 leopard slugs kind of wrapped up in each other, just like suspended and spinning around. Like, it looks like an unnecessarily like fabulous and elaborate mating ritual. And then they get to this point where one of them decides it's going, because they're hermaphrodites, so one of them has to be the man eventually, and then they like pull out their massive penis thing, bag of juices. Then that gets, but it's just really beautiful, and really, like, it seems to, I guess it's just but like an unknown world, there are things they get up to that are actually quite wonderful. Yeah. Like, imagine that. You just, like,
I mean,
oh yeah. No. Yeah.
But
yeah,
there is a fabulous slug. I've seen a fabulous slug.
Tell me.
Well, our friend George was 50 this year, and he had a birthday party, and there was a fabulous slug there. I don't know.
That slug. God, who was that?
Oh, God. She was really hot. It was like there was like a sort of clown catwalk, like sort of Vogue runway style, and then the slug just came and like slithered all the way down. It was hot.
Sexual slug.
Slug.
Yeah. Like sliming all the way down the runway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I loved it.
Fabulous. Did you find that fabulous?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I think for me that was fabulous because it was like the fucking weirdest thing I've ever seen.
Aww.
In that it was just like,
I'm gonna take that as a massive compliment, babe.
Yeah. Well, as in, like, it was extraordinarily large.
Right.
But for a slug, I mean, it was like 50 million times bigger than a slug. I don't know.
And it had 7-inch heels on as well.
And you had 7-inch heels on. But I think it was just this sort of crazy character. Like, you'd only just finished clown school, hadn't you, the week before?
I did a week of clowning the week before.
You kind of, I don't know, it was like...
Did you say it was the sex clown category?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I didn't say that, but it was the sex clown
category.
It was this sort of fabulousness in that it just makes you go, what? What? And it was the first time that I actually considered a slug to be sexy.
Ah, yes!
And
my life is complete.
Your life is complete.
My life is complete.
I mean, I don't have any obsession with slugs. I really love the sea slugs because they're beautiful.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
I just really
they're really
liked
accessible to you.
The image of it and it was fabulous.
Oh, thanks, love.
Extraordinarily
really nice
large and mythical.
Mythical. Yeah.
Ah.
Yeah, interesting.
I think there's more that can be. I think there's definitely more in it that can be explored, which we're hoping to do.
Yeah, I feel that too.
We get that in the show.
Sluggy.
Hopefully. Slugs.
Yeah, I feel like slug. I mean, I just think they're very curious creatures, and they've got a lot of. And also, just the way they move, and the kind of, because they're kind of comical, but they're also quite sensual and quite incredible and quite like there's like.
I think that's the other thing
and
that's
they're disgusting as well.
That you're championing something that is like 99.9% of people, probably even higher percentage than that, would. They would be like, no slugs. They're just and you're championing this thing that is almost like a reject.
Yeah, I think that's what I find that's one of the things that's really intriguing about them as well, is that they're so dismissed and actually.
But do they have a job? Because
yes, well, exactly.
What
that's
they do
is
destroy things. So what is the job of a slug?
Slug's job description is to. The ecological function is to break down organic matter. So they're composters. So they do a lot of work in the composting bin or other composting. In the soil, just like chomping through like decaying organic matter to turn it into nutritional like goodies for our food. And it just so happens that they. Yeah, they do. Yeah, and I know that for a fact because before you cook them, you purge them for a week, so they have nothing left inside them, and they just shit. But so they're processing through all this stuff, and they're turning it into nutrients so that you can grow food, and they actually have a really essential function. They're kind of like like worms, so they're there. They're kind of like the bin men of like of the earth, and they're there like processing stuff. I don't know, like just doing a really unglamorous job, but having this secret kind of quite sexy life as well.
So if a bin man just started clearing up bins and left a trail of glitter behind, and then had incredible sex life.
Yeah, and I think what I find upsetting in a lot of the way that humans relate to other species is like whether they're useful or not to the human, or whether they're infringing on us doing the things that we want to do in the world. So like slugs are hated because they eat the things that we want to eat, and they like the same kind of leaves as us.
Yeah.
And they want to eat the same little green shoots. Of course they do. And like the reason that so many people hate them is because they get in the way of what they want to do, and it's like, hang on a minute, the slugs. Do you know what?
But I think the thing with the slug, I think what annoys me about them from a sort of gardener's perspective is that they don't. Like when we eat our food, we'll have this chicken. We'll eat the chicken. We'll have this potato. We'll eat the potato.
Yes.
What we don't do is eat a hole in the potato, leave the rest of it on, and then move on to the next potato.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Slugs have a different kind of sense of portion control.
Yeah, I mean, but they don't come back to the same leaf. Like, why can't they just eat that one? I'm sure if they just ate one leaf and then moved on to the next plant, all the farmers and all the people in the garden would be like, okay, that leaf there is the slug's leaf, but we've still got the other leaf, so it's fine.
Yeah,
but no, what they have to do is eat a hole in each one, or eat the stalk, or eat the whole damn plant.
I don't know why they do that. I wonder, is it because they're on a trajectory and they just eat whatever's in their path? So do you know what I mean? Like they don't understand
what happens to a slug when it gets to the end of the leaf? Does it just fall off?
But I don't think they go along a leaf though, or do they? I don't know. Because what I wondered was, do they like pick a path and they're like, what? We'll suffer in my path. I'm gonna just eat it. So like they're like there chomping, but they don't have a sense of the shape of a leaf, so they wouldn't know like to go left or right or.
Can they see if they got eyes?
They don't have. Oh, do they? Wait, I can't remember. This is a fact check. It's paradise. I don't know.
They've got a hole in the side of their head.
They either do or they do not have eyes. I can't.
They've got a hole in the side of their head. They've got a bum hole.
Yeah, they've got a breathing. No, that's not true. They've got a breathing hole in one side, and a penis on the other side. They're literally dickheads.
You said it. They're literally dickheads.
Is this not all radio gold?
Yeah, all of it. I might just put it all out. I might just make the listeners listen to like 3 hours of Slug talk.
Slug talk.
I'm
I'm gonna start a chat line. Slug talk. Hi.
Slug talk.
Slug talk.
Hi, my name's Kate.
Hi.
What other animals are fabulous? So you're quite you're very nature inspired, shall we say? So you do wild swimming. You really like what nature has to offer.
And I think I remember in your first survey about fabulous, and you said like, "What is fabulous? What things do you think of when you think of fabulous?" And I was just like,
Nature.
Nature, man. Sunsets, and the way that seeds germinate, and like, but sometimes I guess, yeah, I think sometimes I just think about what humans do to kind of try and be fabulous is kind of like really pitiful sometimes in comparison to what just nature just does. I hate the word, like,
in the sense that people being fabulous is quite contrived. It's like an obvious effort has gone into it, and nature just does what it does.
Does it?
Is that what you mean?
Well, this is already problematic because we're part of nature, but humans, I don't know. There's like, I suppose I'm more talking about. I just think there's so much sort of incredible and mythic. There's so much we don't understand and is fabulous and wonderful in terms of like aesthetics, but also in terms of stuff we don't quite understand that was mythical or whatever in the natural world.
Yeah.
And just going out and paying attention to what plants are doing or what animals are doing or what the sky is doing is like
it's actually fascinating, isn't it?
Yeah, and sometimes I just like, do you know what? Like, you could go and see a show for a night, or you could just go and watch the sky. And
yeah, one of the most fabulous things that I like to do is go and sit at the sky and watch the stars. For me, it puts things in perspective, and it makes you kind of realise actually how insignificant everything is.
Well, that's interesting. So instead of like,
like for somebody who naturally worries a lot,
right,
about all sorts of random stuff, and sometimes it can be the most ridiculous thing ever.
Yeah, I can confirm that.
But to go and watch the stars, you then kind of go, oh, there's like me in a garden, in a world, in like, and you just sort of amplify everything and look at the sky and see exactly how many other worlds there are, and you're like, oh, that little worry about the colour of my hair.
Oh, but your hair colours are really
it's like, or something silly about like.
Yeah, no, I know what you mean.
Oh, I'm worried about worried about this, and you go like, fucking hell! Look at everything else in the world. There's so much, or not even in the world, but look at there's so much.
Takes you out of yourself.
Other things you like
to it. Yeah. Well, I was just thinking. So there's the scale, that is sort of sense of perspective and scale, but like going on.
Yeah.
So like I was just thinking about like the fabulous being like extraordinarily large or something. But you're kind of talking about a sense of shrinking from like making you seem smaller.
Yeah. Or
in relation to another thing. So
making the problems smaller.
Yeah, or like reassembling the proportions and the perspective so that something that seemed extraordinarily large, an extraordinarily large hair colour issue, and suddenly like being reproportioned down into like a fairly minuscule in comparison to the
so to be fabulous you need to be bigger than the solar system.
So the
only truly fabulous thing is God, and that's not real.
It's not real.
Sorry, God followers. It really is.
Squad.
I'm God. But I do believe there's a God, like, so God, in the terms of like God, I do believe that if there is a God, God is a part of everything. So that everything that's alive is God. Like, so the spark that makes you a living, breathing thing, be it a plant or a slug or a person, that's God. That little power, that little energy, that little thing that makes you
like a life
more
force.
than a brick. Yeah, the life force, that is God. I think, maybe. If there's a God, that's what God is. I believe that
Maybe.
God's in everyone.
I love it. Nicely
Possibly.
qualified. So I was supposedly brought up Catholic, and although like my family weren't strict about it, was the things that you kind of learn about the Catholic Church and the faith and the way it has operated. And I used to live in Spain, so like, and I've done a lot of kind of reading about the worst times of kind of the Catholic sort of, sort of domination of the Catholic Church, and you're just like, it's absolutely astonishing. But there's also a fabulousness about the ability to believe something so strongly, like that sense of the mythical, of the absolute conviction that this bread is the body of Christ. Like, that is utterly fabulous. Like in a kind of mythical, like, we don't understand this, but we're utterly prepared to believe it because we somehow can suspend the disbelief about it, and we can follow this this doctrine and live our lives by it, because God, I mean, I guess we're just all kind of searching for something, aren't we, in a way, to
Searching
for something.
Fabulous. But there's also, with religion, and especially the older religions, there's also is a very aesthetic fabulousness also. You look at, like, so the Catholic Church is a prime example, actually. The amount of idolatry, these quite often very fabulous statues, or like look at Rome,
so much gold,
and the Vatican, and the
so
outfits that the priests wear. There's something you could argue fabulous about that.
Oh, totally. Yeah, the ceremony in the Catholic Church is absolutely incredible. Like,
and
the
like with the Buddhas, the big Buddha statues. I mean, like, for a religion that is meant to be about pretty much back to the basics of nothing,
it's like
they have a massive gold Buddha on a mountain. Like, okay.
It's like they were trying to make a
that religion
was
free.
For magpies or something. with that blinded. It's a shiny thing. Great. I'll believe in it. It's weird, isn't it? And I suppose there's a lot in those belief systems around what it means to adorn and what it means to revere, and how you express that, and how you show that you're as committed as you are, and how can you possibly, finding, I suppose it is, in a way, they're kind of fabulous ways of expressing the depth of your utter belief in something, is to make it more fabulous and more adorned and more this and more that, and like escalate the scale and the intensity of the thing, so that you're like, I'm the biggest believer.
I've got the most faith because my Buddha is sparklier than yours.
And I've got this, I've got this the scale of my church and my spire and we're going higher to heaven. It's an interesting, so I suppose coming back to the idea of scale with fabulousness, is it about amplification? Is it about things being bigger and more, grand, or what was it? Extraordinarily large.
Have you ever seen anything that's small and fabulous? I mean, there's obviously
slugs.
No, but there's obviously people think diamonds are small and fabulous, but actually, the more fabulous is the bigger of the diamonds. The bigger the diamond, the more fabulous it is, I suppose. I don't think you've seen a tiny speck of diamond that's super fabulous when you put it next to a giant diamond ring or the Kohinoor diamond in the crown.
I suppose things that are disproportionate seem more fabulous to me. The size of a diamond compared to a finger.
Yeah.
The one that looks comically oversized is the more fabulous one. If it was a mouse wearing the human-sized diamond ring, that would be fabulous in a different way. Do you know what I mean? It's the unnecessarily or comically oversized.
But comically, is there a point where oversized becomes ridiculous?
Well, yeah. I suppose that's where maybe that is where I'm going. Is the fabulousness about it being somehow ridiculous? The point where your faith becomes so you're trying to express your faith so strongly that your expression of it becomes ridiculous, and the ornateness of the things become ridiculous when you think about actually what the church stands for, and actually humanity, and actually humility. And
so at what point does fabulous become madness?
Ooh, good question.
Like, is there so in like the sort of spectrum of things, so you've got like normal size, normative size, and then you've got sort of like enlarged, it's getting fabulous, it's getting fabulous, it's getting fabulous, oh my god, it's too weird. You've gone mad. Like,
falling off the edge.
Yeah.
Don't know.
Yeah. And something gets so big that it's just stupid and not fabulous anymore.
Oh, I see. Okay.
The diamond ring. When does that diamond stop becoming fabulous? When it's bigger than you?
There must be a suitable proportionality between the two things. Your sense of normal and a sense of some fabulosity that's not so far removed that it doesn't become abstracted. It still has some sense of relation to us. Yeah, that's a good question. Let's move on. What where next, Sparkles?
So you haven't seen Queer Britain?
No, I haven't. No, no, I haven't. I don't really watch TV very much.
So Queer Britain was really interesting because it was basically 6 episodes, each one exploring a different theme around queerness and gay and being in that. And we were talking about this earlier, and we were talking about the letters. I think one of the most interesting episodes for me was the last one, which was what queer is. Or it's kind of explaining the difference between gay and queer, or
right. What explanation was given?
Well, it was kind of like the way that I kind of understood it is that you got LGB, lesbian, gay, bi, T, transsexual, trans, and then these other letters, and like Q being
like a catch-all queer category.
Well,
anything weird.
Questioning.
Is that what the Q stands for? I thought it was.
I don't know. Some people say questioning, some people say queer, but basically queer is the sort of thing. For me, was more gender specific, more gender non-specific. So that you've got boys, girls, and then at the two opposite ends of the spectrum, and then anything in between that.
What gender were? So anything in between the cis end of either of the genders.
Yeah.
Right.
It would be Q.
Okay.
So kind of like the catch-all, like the
anything a little bit funny.
Well, that's what we were saying, wasn't it? It's obviously, like, at some point someone's gone like, okay, so gay, let's put a G in, but then someone's obviously stood up and gone, oh no, but I'm not G, I'm kind of in between G and L, so I need to be like B, and then someone's gone, well, actually, I'm not B, because I don't just like boys and girls, I like the T's too. And they've gone, so I want to be a P.
Yeah.
And then they've just added all these letters.
Yeah, and some of them are about, this is what we were saying, wasn't it, earlier on, that some of them are about, it starts off being about sexuality.
Yeah. And
then it becomes about gender. And it's the kind of these being grouped together in one long
why are they in the same
long string of letters?
Why are they in the same classification?
All things to do with genitalia that are weird. Let's put those letters together, because who you want to sleep with and what gender you identify as
are two different things.
It don't necessarily roll together into one beautiful sentence, do they? I mean, it's curious because
I don't, because I would be like, hi, my name is Gareth, I am male.
I mean, it's
and then in the next sentence you'd be like, I like boys, so I'm gay.
I mean, it's like saying, hi, I'm gay and I've got blue eyes. It's or, why are we I'm
gay and I like eating chocolate.
So the chocolates are different to the cornflakers.
Yeah.
And the crunchy nut cornflakers and.
Yeah.
Who the fuck? What? Yeah. So there's the combination of the I identify as this and I want to sleep with these kind of people or these people or like so why are these things brought together? Is
why are they together?
A question. And then there's a question about why are the labels important anyway? What is the
we were talking about like why do we? It's okay. So we've got this filing cabinet with all these letters on. Why do people?
You can tell you've been working in an office recently.
I know, right?
Look at you.
So I've spent the last 2 weeks working in an office. Oh my god, we don't have filing cabinets.
Not even for gays.
No, it's not even for gays. We've got it all. It's all done online. Don't have paper, love.
Sorry.
I haven't seen paper for ages.
Done any flicking? Oh.
Oh, click, click. Which one my eyes hurt.
Yeah.
So nice to not be looking at a screen. He says as he looks at the screen. But
look at me. I'll feed you a grape.
Thank you.
Pleasure.
But we were saying you've got this filing cabinet of letters,
yes.
and there's sort of an index roll of like here's our ABCDs. But why is that important? Why do somebody need to be? I'm an I. I'm a P. Like, what is it that? So I was kind of saying this is where like it drags in identity, and that need to have an identity or the need to.
Is this? What is this question in relation to fabulousness? Is this the exploration of like is fabulous to do with queer or alternative identity? Whatever that is, like is that what we're is that where
so
you're
I guess
going,
like the fabulous.
where are we going with this?
If we go back to like the project as a whole, and that this podcast being sort of like research for the show. And the research, why I want to do this project coming from being referred to as Fabulous Gareth.
Oh yeah, of course, yeah. And was it to do with you being gay?
Is it because I'm gay?
Is it
because I wear glitter? Is it because of the way I identify? Is it because that I don't?
Do you identify as glittery?
Or
sparkly?
I'm adding my very own letter to the list. Because I don't think LGBTQPITOOOXZ is I don't think there's any letters there that suits me. So I'm adding an F into the mix.
Right, you're adding fabulous as
your
own identifier.
But I don't know. Like I think so. It stemmed from like why was I called?
Is that going to be the title of the show? LGBTQIQF. XYZF.
Yeah, maybe just a massive F.
WTF.
And like I said, I just want to fuck Fabulous. Yeah, I don't know. In terms of the question is where does this fit into Fabulous? This fits into the kind of bigger story of why was I called Fabulous?
Yeah.
Is it because of this? Is it? And then in order to answer those questions, without asking the person directly, which would just make this project 10 seconds long instead of 10 years long.
We need to spin this out for at least 7 years, babes, because that's
exactly.
a good time.
I'm never going to get a PhD in fabulousness if I
Exactly.
don't do the work. So, in order to get to that answer, I have to then ask people what fabulousness is. I have to find the definition of fabulous.
Yeah, and do they think it's related to what relation does it have to gender and sexuality?
Yeah, I mean, personally speaking, I don't think you have to be queer to be fabulous. I think there's plenty of fabulous people that are cisgendered, heterosexual people. And
Do we? Okay, yeah.
you know,
Sorry, yeah, carry on.
like, well, like who? Like many people. Shirley Bassey, Cher.
Many people, yeah.
I mean, Cher's a bit queer though, but like she's fabulous, but she is heteronormative.
Do we see more expression of fabulousness from people who
do we see it more in the queer community?
Yeah,
possibly because. But is that because one of the definitions that has come up in the research of fabulousness is about people who are back to extraordinarily large. So people who are sort of larger than life, or people that make you think but make you feel good. So is that by the queer community needing to draw attention to themselves and needing to be seen? Because I mean, don't forget, we're still. I mean, it's incredible how we've come along in the last 40 years, but we're still in, after 100 years or so of oppression and it being illegal, and then things changing and like fighting towards equality and stuff. We've had to be present, we've had to be there, we've had to be and make people look at us. And you either do that by rioting or you do that in other ways. And so by creating art and by being extravagant or flamboyant or fabulous, that's like the way of fucking look at us. Is that what it is?
I have a couple of thoughts. One is kind of related to what we were talking about at the beginning about, are sea slugs fabulous to other sea slugs? So the idea that fabulousness is in the difference, or the it being something different, mythical. You don't understand it. It's kind of weird. That sense. Is it because people who don't identify as queer or whatever see it as weird and fabulous because it's not their normality? It's like, oh God, you fuck people the same sex as you and you wear colours. Oh, you're fabulous because I don't understand you, or because you're different. Or
there's an element of intrigue.
There's a kind of curiosity around that sense of like, I don't understand you. You're kind of mythical because you're not part of my normality. You're not part of normality. So there's a bit of this kind of like, or exoticism around. Yeah. And part of that is problematic. And so is it an exoticism by sort of cis and heteronormativeness, looking at queer and gayness and whatever, and then going, oh, you're so exotic and fabulous, but like in a kind of like,
it's really,
we want to keep you as fabulous because therefore we don't need to kind of relate to you somehow, or like you're different, and like that maintains a difference. But then there's another, there's other things around expression, which is coming out. It comes from. It's born out of whatever is fabulous, or feels fabulous to people who express it. So it's there's something about the people kind of who see the fabulousness and the people who express it. So it's obviously something different. Like you were just talking about, the sense of kind of like overcoming oppression and being seen and being noticed and standing up and being like, I'm this. You look at me and I'm going to celebrate this because. So I think there are different. Lots of different ways.
What was interesting is like sort of working in this office. Like I think one of the reasons I struggle with defining or talking about fabulousness as a thing is because we're very lucky to have a group of friends that are very open, very liberal, very naturally fabulous, queer people. Even the friends of ours that are cis, heterosis, are still like, they will still wear glitter. They're still happy to put on ladies' clothes and run around the place because we're in this kind of but we're in a creative friendship circle, or a creative within that we've got people that run their own food businesses, we've got people that play music, we've got people that are cabaret performers, we've got people circus, we've got sort of massive variety of people. But being in work the last couple of weeks in an office kind of put me in this world where, oh no, there's no fabulous.
Oh, babe. I think that's kind of how I felt when I was writing and I needed the slugs.
Yeah. Like, I'm not depressed and going to go and talk to slugs. This is not what's happening.
Depressed slug.
But
slug
it
chatting.
really opened my eyes
No.
in that, like, because there's me thinking, oh yeah, we don't need this queer culture stuff because we're like kind of there. It's all lovely and happy. And yeah, in my direct circle of people that I have most contact with, it is. But working in an office with people who are very young as well, they're graduates, a lot of them, and some of them are really normal.
Do you think
And
you
they,
would be
like-
seen as Fabulous Gareth in your office environment? Like, do you think...
No, because
People
I
you
don't
work
play
with,
up
'cause
to
you
it in the
don't play
office.
it,
But
okay.
they did find out on Thursday about Sparkles.
Oh.
And they're kind of fascinated with Sparkles.
Okay, yeah.
So they
Tell me
Googled
about
him
that.
and they found stuff.
Oh,
and
right,
they-
yeah.
And yeah, this very, very quickly got around the entire company
Oh, right, yeah. Uh-huh.
like wildfire. Have you
Yeah.
seen that? Like,
Have you seen?
that,
Yeah.
that dull, like grey trousers suit? Gareth in admin downstairs moving the
Gareth
emails
in admin.
about. Temp number 2.
Oh, no.
Have you seen what he really is? He's a fucking unicorn. Like,
Have you seen him?
but
Yeah.
there's like, I've had a couple of conversations this week about it, and it's been really interesting because I didn't realize actually how important this conversation still is.
Right, okay. In terms of, like...
All the letters.
all the letters, right, and your kind of how you manifest as fabulous, or how you express something
Yeah.
of yourself through Ernie Sparkles. So what is the something you express through Ernie Sparkles which is fabulous to you? Is Ernie Sparkles fabulous to you?
Ernie Sparkles is fabulous to me in that he is an event,
Okay, yeah.
an outlet for, and a way for me to physically and practically develop and explore the concept.
So fabulous.
So I'm
Because-
always evolving Ernie into what's the next fabulous thing, what happens next, so I'm developing him as a character, and with the work he does I kind of play with the next thing. So like if you look at him over the last 2 years, how his makeup has changed, how his clothing has changed, how the way he presents.
Because he's exploring what it means to be.
And Ernie for me is a way of manifesting the exploration into acting it out, I guess. Is like, I mean, I see Ernie and Gareth as very different.
Yeah.
I just want to start talking to myself, both of myselves, in third person. So like, it's just like this. I don't know. No, I see the two as quite. There's obviously a very similar thing between them because they're the same person. But there is a like me on a day-to-day basis. So I'm a burlesque performer as Ernie Sparkles, but yeah, I have like, I'm not confident with my body. Like I would wouldn't go swimming, or I don't go swimming, or going swimming is a big deal because I'm like, oh god, I have to like get my clothes off. And like being in a nudist beach is something I would never do.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yet stick me on stage, and that's all I want to do is take my clothes off. So it's really strange.
Yeah.
Like, but what is that?
What is that?
Is that like something inside of Gareth that wants to be this exhibitionist? Or is Ernie a different? Is it almost like a possession? Is it almost like it's definitely a mask, isn't it? It's like, oh, I can put this on, put these eyelashes on, and boom, you're somebody else.
So there's like a distancing. So Ernie allows you to distance somehow from Gareth, so you can do things that Gareth wouldn't do.
Yeah, I mean, generally speaking, like 90% of the time nowadays, if I'm not working in the office, I'm like kind of living in the halfway world between the two.
Yeah, it's curious, isn't it? I remember you saying once that you like you became more, or you're becoming more Ernie than Gareth.
Yeah, I was transitioning.
You're transitioning. Yeah, I find that idea really interesting. That like by acting out this persona, that you can become it.
If I'm doing a lot of Ernie work,
yeah,
not necessarily in character, but if I'm working on his costumes or working on an act or working on something, yeah, I do find that he takes over more of me.
And then
which has been quite funny. The last 2 weeks have been like a bit of an Ernie holiday.
Oh, yeah.
Bye, Ernie.
Yeah, it'd be interesting how you get back into Ernie again after.
Yeah, I was kind of like hoping that being in an office and doing like mundane shit would be like quite a nice way of maybe like I'll be quite refreshed and having had a proper break from him.
Yeah. You'd be exhilarated to go back into.
I've got a gig in like 2 weeks' time. It's a festival one with the troupe, so it's not necessarily taking Ernie out there. So yeah, like by the time September comes around, it'll be like. Hopefully he'll be refreshed and ready to come out to play a bit more.
This is really interesting, actually. This kind of idea of like your two beings, almost like your two people.
Yeah, like I'm schizophrenic.
Well, so it reminds me
of like split personality.
It's wow. It's just it's interesting, and it reminds me of so I used to read quite a lot of Latin American fiction, and there's like this sort of way that a lot of books were written, and they call it magical realism, and it's about much of it because sort of post-colonialism, there was sort of the colonialist sort of understanding of the world mindset thing that was being kind of layered on top of all of the kind of indigenous and traditional understandings of the world, which were more about kind of superstition and belief in magic and spirits and all that kind of stuff. And that literature being written at that time supposedly was trying to make sense of there being two realities at the same time in the world, like that had to kind of live alongside and intermingle with each other, but were really different. So like they're written as if both things are equally possible. So like the apparition of a ghost or a spirit is narrated with the same plausibility as a scientific invention. So you have this sense of like all these things are possible and real, and they're all like valid. But I come from completely different understandings of the world. So it kind of like it just reminded me of like that duality of like there's Gareth and Ernie. They're both the same person. Like, this is the same world. This is the same villages.
I think it is, and I think everyone's got these two sides to them, though, isn't there? It's always the same as
or more.
You know, or more. But it's the same as like people have got the devil and the angel, or people have got a character that they are with their friends, which is entirely different to the character they are with their mum, or the person that they are at work, or the person they are with their sports team, or the person they are when they're drunk.
Yeah, I think that's more about like relationship. That's more about the combination of people than it is about a sort of fundamental sense of self or identity or something. It's like the relationship, like you said, because we were all, of course we're different people when we're, but
that's interesting. Like, so I guess that's like question is Ernie something I play, or is he something that's in me? Yeah.
Well, that's the answer.
I don't know.
Or why? And if you're playing him, why? Where are you? Where are you
I don't really feel that I play him. Like I'm not a character actor. So I don't.
So there's a real fabulous.
When I'm
creature.
him, it's a him. It's when I'm Ernie, it's there's no like having to like
So.
Oh God, maybe I'm mentally ill. I don't know. There's I'm trying to make sense of it myself.
So.
There's definitely like a. Yeah.
The way it seemed when you did the unicorn inquiry piece was like the things that Ernie did, or the things that he wore, or the way he could play with makeup was like your permission to express things that Gareth couldn't express. Mm-hmm. Because Gareth appears a certain way, and the expectations of Gareth are certain things. And Ernie, as soon as he puts his yellow jumpsuit on, he like the permission is
it's gone. Yeah, it's granted. Yeah.
So
he can do what he wants.
It's there, it's in you, but it's like you need something that unlocks it, which means that.
Very yes, you're right, and it's yeah. So it's
the permission to be different to whatever Gareth has been conditioned by in his life.
Yeah, I mean, I mean, that's another story, isn't it? That, like that side, what's happened with Gareth to. And it's interesting. So I remember as a child lying down in front of the telly and just waving my legs around, making silly noises, and being told, "Don't do that." You know, don't make that silly. Why are you making that silly noise? Stop making that silly noise.
Oh, babe. Your creativity squashed.
Yeah. And isn't that like, because like, are you that when you're slowly conditioned away from playing, aren't you? And you have to be an adult. No, we don't do silly noises now. You're 10 years old. You know, you must do your homework. You mustn't be going.
Which is kind of useful if you want to do an office job, also.
Yeah, it is to have the skill to turn it off. Yeah, but and then 10 years with 10 years with Craig, who was like, absolutely do not ever draw attention to us, because he was having to work in like in a city London city job, very heteronormative place. Like,
you found
you're not gay in that world. So yeah, and do not look at, like, do not. So I wasn't allowed to dress up, or and me being a stupid young child.
Can't imagine you like that. Just
allowing somebody to have that decision-making control of my life. No. Yeah. I know, silly. But then
you had to go there, I guess.
And then Ernie is kind of like a fuck you, fingers up at the past in a way as well, isn't he? A kind of like
isn't it?
No, fuck you, I can do this, and I'm doing it now, and I'm going to make up for it.
Yeah. So that was like, boom, I put these boots on, I'm off. Yeah, I wonder at some point, will you meld back into
a normal person?
Will your two bits unite?
Yeah.
Or will you come back to like a sense of wholeness, which has got I can dress up. I can also so it's less, you have to separate the parts less and less and less until like you just can play and not play freely.
Yeah, I mean, I think we've been doing that more over the last few months.
Yeah,
possibly like merging more. I know there's like, certainly with like some of the comparing work and stuff that I've done, a couple of people have commented recently on, especially after the last lot of comparing that I did, where like you're at your most natural now. Was like something that,
so you're not trying too hard.
Somebody said to me recently, was like, I really loved watching you at this show because you're not you're natural. You're not trying too hard anymore. I think you know what you're doing now.
You've grown into Sparkles somehow in a different way.
And like for that particular gig, I wasn't overdoing it. I wasn't like, I wasn't clowning, so I wasn't pushing out extremes. I was just being. So yeah, it's kind of nice to hear that.
Yeah.
I particularly felt it wasn't a very good gig. Maybe because it was
funny, isn't
me not being like not playing up so much. I don't know. Yeah, it's interesting, and I think like.
Well, that's interesting, isn't it? You felt like you weren't playing up, so you felt like it was not as good, but actually it was more natural. So yeah,
that goes back to our conversation the other day, wasn't it? About
about playing up, Yeah. What is it about? Like suddenly, being called up on stage to do something and feeling like all of a sudden, are you expected to perform? Like, and I think especially like people who are called up on stage who don't normally go on stage, because you were saying you find it awkward to watch when people are called up on stage and then they're like
proper playing up.
Like, I was just like, well, I think, but it's a nerve-wracking thing to do. Like the nervousness around kind of being on stage, kind of people just go, it's nervous excitement, isn't it? Ooh. Or when you're not used to being on stage, you I don't know, or something about like feeling like there's a permission when you're on stage to play up or act out or like whatever. I don't know. Or maybe that's expected. They need to do something to entertain us all. But you're like, no, actually, I just want to see you.
I'm just going to stand here and watch you.
Yeah, see you working your way through this. Like, for me, that's what's really delightful to watch. Like, I love watching. Yeah, it's just authentic. Stuff that's authentic.
Maybe that's what my next show is. Just me watching the audience.
Well, turn it around.
Yeah.
I'm just going to watch you guys. Just do what you do.
I'm just going to be natural and sit and watch it. Maybe. But why? So let's go back to the identity thing. So why did we? Because we kind of moved.
Oh, the
letters.
We
went to me. So.
Oh yeah, we did.
Take it away from me.
Yeah, so bored of talking about you, Sparkles.
Oh God. Why do we have this filing cabinet of letters?
Filing cabinet of
why
letters?
Is it important for us to be able to go? I'm that one.
I think it's a really good question, and I think there are as many answers that are all true to different people. I think.
So.
Were you going to say something?
Go on.
It shouldn't matter. Like, it shouldn't matter who you want to fuck or how you identify. It shouldn't matter. It does because we like, as humans, we like having ways of talking about things. We like having a word for expressing who we want to fuck or what kind of, what kind of... or whether we think we're, a man or a woman or what. Or, like, we just like to have... thing to relate to, and it's like, oh yeah, I'm a that. Okay, great. I can talk to other people about what I want now, which is useful. And I guess there's so much nuance in what we want that, of course, there are going to be. I'm kind of almost surprised there isn't more terminology than there is, because I guess there is a lot of terminology when you go down into like, okay, right, what words do we have for sexualities? What words do we have for things that aren't sexualities but about romantic attachment? What words do we have that are about gender? What words do we have? And there are so many nuances around that of course there are loads of terms, and in a way that's wonderful because it shows how much diversity there is that we can identify in the ways that human beings want to relate to each other. Yeah. And that's great. But it's also becomes problematic, doesn't it, when it's a divider rather than an rather than being something that is just like, yeah, this is a thing. I've got blue eyes and I like.
It feels to me that like there's like, so instead of it almost being like, well, it's like a filing cabinet or a row of boxes. But the problem is once you're in the box, you're in the box. That you
yeah, I mean.
Can you get out of the box? Why can't you spread yourself across 3 boxes?
And also, whose box is it anyway? Like, my interpretation of being like gender fluid might be totally different
boxes
to yours, and therefore,
and then you're stuck in there. Like, you fall into this big hole, and you're like, oh shit! Now I'm in a box, and there's no bloody ladder.
I'm in an L box. Well, no, I don't know that that's true. Maybe that's maybe the whole thing about this maybe the whole kind of conversation is actually around people trying to sort themselves out amongst the boxes, because like you were saying at the beginning, some people are like, oh no, I'm not just a G, I'm a this and a that. So the kind of some of the discussion about which box are we talking about is actually people trying to sort themselves out of certain boxes and into others, or straddling some, making little pie chart Venn diagrams and other forms of other kinds of graphs
are available.
I want to turn my box into a circle and then put it next to that one and I want a big rainbow overlap between them. I mean, it's not, it's problematic where it's exclusionary, or where you start not seeing the human and you start seeing the box or the word, isn't it?
Do you think that would be a wonderful time where like the need for boxes isn't important?
Yeah, the day when the world is a Venn diagram.
Yeah.
Sorry, say the question again.
Is there going to be a day
where we don't need boxes?
We don't need boxes, where we can just be people? And is that really what all this sort of discussions and campaigns and work that charities and groups and things do across the world, is this what they're sort of, do they stop when the boxes are no longer there? Will the box, or will there be something else that comes up? Will in future people start identifying as animals? Are there people that identify as animals? There's that interesting load of people in London, they sort of, that were identifying as unicorns, which was, I don't know what do we say to that, because like in years past, if a male was like, no, I identify as female, we'd have been like, don't be stupid. So by saying the same thing to the unicorns, no, you're not a unicorn, you're a person, like
so if I started saying, no, I'm slug, you must refer to me as slug, and as slug I want the same rights as
when
you.
Does it stop? At which point does Bodie the Labrador decide she wants to identify as a human lesbian? A cis-human lesbian.
Wow.
So she wants to stay as like a girl dog, but identify as a human lesbian. Like, when does this happen? Like, and is it going to happen? Could it happen? Can people start identifying? Could you live a week identifying as a slug? Do we need to do this? Should we do this as an activity one day? Pick something to identify as and be that.
Be that.
In public.
What would that entail? So
we'd crawl from here to town.
You'd move like that. You'd try to take on behaviours like that. Oh, did I tell you about that? Did I tell you about the Being a Beast book that I was reading? I went to a talk. Oh. Yeah.
Yeah.
Where he does that. He does that.
So we got someone who's identifying.
He does. Yeah. So I'll get the book now. Actually.
That's kind of in a way of research.
It's well, his idea was about becoming beast. So doing everything possible he could do to take
was more
on
researching, wasn't it? To find out more about. Wasn't that the purpose? Was to find out more about the animal by becoming the animal.
A bit, but it was also about like, to what extent can we be that animal?
Yeah.
As a human, if we behave like them and we do their things. So he did that. He did like living for a week or whatever as a swallow or swift or whatever.
But we read it, didn't we? We read it the other week and then we pulled it apart.
we did, but more because it was quite. It was difficult to. It was. I think it was I don't know what's the word.
It was
written in a very. I didn't find it very excessively written, but I think the idea of trying to identify as a creature was what he was going for. I think it's similar to what you were talking about. So, like, crawling down the street, eating 10 hamburgers in a day because that's the calorific intake of that creature, and like yeah, trying to source food in a similar way. And so what would be I mean, what's the point of that? What we?
So the question was like, how far do we take this? Like, can people start identifying as animals? Like, will that be the next thing? So we're going to have a H in there because I'm a horse. Or a tranimal. I'm a tranimal. Because I'm transitioning into a pig.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Should we set up a new letter? Let's set up a new letter. I want to transition into an eagle, please. With wings and everything.
You can see the back
surgery.
of a thong above a pair of jeans. That's because that person's transitioning into a whale.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the tail.
That's
growing.
the tail.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But like, do animals? The other question, like, do animals? How do they identify? Do they identify? Do they have the thoughts that we do? Is it important to them? Like, so for instance, is a Labrador, like, do they need to know they're a Labrador? I'm a Labrador. And then what does the Chihuahua's like, I'm going in the C box for Chihuahua, and what happens to the little...
and if I'm a dog, and I find that
I'm really attracted
fox
to cats.
really hot, can I
fuck a fox?
Can I fuck a fox?
Yeah.
It'd be interesting to know, have any animals voluntarily mated interspecially?
Yeah. Interspecially.
Because I know humans have been like, right, come here mule, come here horse, you're mating with a donkey.
Yeah.
But I don't know whether that's happened. I mean, has that happened?
I don't know.
Voluntarily, I don't know. What are the boundaries of humanness and what we can identify, how we can identify? I mean,
This is what I mean, like, so
I think we
5 years ago there was 4 letters, now there's like 12 or something, or 9.
We want letters in order to understand ourselves, understand other people, and communicate what we need in terms of our rights and our I
mean, the sad fact is that, like, that this conversation needs to happen in the first place. It shouldn't be like who you are, what box you put yourself in, what box of people you want to take home, and it shouldn't be part of the discussion of what it is to be alive at all. There shouldn't need to be these categories, because I think, like, it should just be like, people are people and we accept.
Yeah, of course.
There should never be these prejudices, but of course there are, and there probably always will be.
Well, identifying something is very different to prejudicing it around it.
Yeah, but the need for the
and categories in order to understand what we're looking for in life and what we want are really useful. It's just when they become reasons.
Are they useful though? You know, when you're looking for to put it down to like a job search. I'm trained in finance, so I'm just going to look at finance jobs. But in doing that, you put yourself in the finance category, but you don't actually ever experience or understand or get to learn that actually you really love the painting and decorating category, but you've never found that out because you've always put yourself in the finance category, you know?
Okay, I see where you're going, yeah.
I'm a vegetarian.
Therefore, I'm
never
ever
going to get the joy of eating a bloody steak.
Well, I think it depends when you choose to adopt a box. Like, if you've tried every bloody steak going and you've decided it's not for you, then adopting the vegetarian box is probably a really comfortable way to, you know.
Yeah, yes. But then you develop and you change over time. So for instance, when I was a child, I used to hate mushrooms, absolutely hate them. Wouldn't put them anywhere near my mouth. They were disgusting. Like, ugh. Same with penises. When I was
just thinking about penises when you said that.
Like when I was in like my early 20s, penises were horrible.
You still think penises are horrible?
Yeah, but I'm more coming round to them than I was 10 years ago.
Oh, congratulations.
Like, I'm happier sucking dick now than I was 10 years ago. So
your palate has changed.
It does. Also, I like mushrooms now.
Are the two related?
I love olives, I even ate Brussels sprouts at Christmas, and I quite enjoyed it. So,
what about fungal cock?
No, not fungal cock. But taste has changed, right? So if I've put myself in the anti-mushroom eating, non-cock-sucking box, I might never have tasted the Tasty D.
Multi-flavoured being you are today. Well, that's just silly, isn't it, when you put yourself in a box and stick it in it? I mean, it's just silly.
Just run around the rims of all the boxes.
Around the rims.
Well, that was another thing, yeah.
I just think, I mean, I think it's very easy for us to get caught up in labels and words.
Yeah.
In all sorts of contexts. And I was talking to someone about this the other day, about like starting the day reading the Declaration of Human Rights and just coming back to the idea that like we're all fucking, like we're all the same. Like treat everybody fairly, and just like we're all, human beings, we're all, we're essentially all the same, and we're all deserving of respect and kindness and love, and it doesn't really matter any of this, but
it doesn't, does it?
But I think we need that. We need the ability to move between incredibly complex language systems and sophisticated understandings of the world. We need to be able to go there. We don't need to, but of course we don't need to. But many of the advances that we've made as a species is because we have been able to create incredibly sophisticated ways of understanding things. But we need to be able to come back to the basic essential things, like, I'm a human, I can love. Boom.
Yeah.
End of.
Yeah.
So I think it's just finding ways of coming back to that.
Plastic elastic.
Yeah, I just need to plasticate the brain a bit and stop being so rigid,
It just needs to be more slug-like.
I suppose a lot of people kind of, because it's the clinging to an identity, isn't it? It's the clinging to a box. It's the clinging to a thing. It's like, I'm a
security
fucking
thing.
Yes, I found something that means something. I'm sticking it. Yeah.
After years of questioning or being like unsure or not really fitting in, I finally fit in, so I'm going to bloody make sure I stay here.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's a security thing.
Okay.
But then as soon as you become secure and you stop pushing, getting out of the comfort zone or questioning things, or that's when you become like, that's when you stop living, that's when you stop developing, I think. But then
setting your mould, innit?
But then by doing that and staying in that box, you're never going to discover that hidden F.
F is out of the box.
F is like the big letter above all the boxes.
Is it?
Yeah. I think it is. Because F goes beyond the box. in the sense that F is... The box isn't important. The box is wonderful. It's nice. These boxes are lovely. But it's not important to F.
The boxes are not important to F.
No.
The boxes are not important to fabulous.
As in, they are important in that every box is important. But every box is the same size and the same... Like, for F, it's nice that that's there. But it's not important to the existence of F, because F kind of is like all of it, including the H. The hetero, not the horse.
I don't think all the boxes are the same. And that's one of the things I find quite problematic. Well, because the lesbian box is shaped like a vagina and covered in pink... fluffy feather boa.
They've all been given the shoebox, and it's the same size shoebox, the same dimensions, but it's just been decorated differently. So it is the same.
Is it?
Yeah, because otherwise, if L has got a bigger box than T, that's like saying that L is more important than T. So for F, all the boxes are the same.
Isn't that what we have in the inequality of rights that are given to the different boxes? So the different sizes of boxes might relate to like, well, the legal system, for example, can say...
I'm not letting Theresa May decide which box is bigger than another.
But if you wanted a way of distinguishing between the sizes of the box, so yeah, you might say like, well, actually, G and L are bigger boxes because they've got more rights, or they've got less oppression, or there's less
you're talking reality. You're right. Yeah.
Reality.
Yeah. In reality, yes, there are boxes that are bigger than others.
But also,
actually, I'm saying is for F.
Yeah.
For F, it's not important because F sees it all as the same. F sees all the boxes as people.
What?
But to get F, we have lots of work to do.
F, fabulous sees all the boxes as people. God, fabulous sounds wonderful, doesn't it?
Fabulous is wonderful. And I'm fabulous. Yeah. And so are you.
So is fabulous is kind of like all-embracing, non-judgmental.
Is it the new box? Is it the heaven of boxes that all the boxes look up to and go, I want to be up there?
It's interesting, isn't it? Because it's like there are qualities in that what we just said that are really appealing, like open-minded, non-judgmental, But there's also a lot of things that a lot of people don't feel comfortable with, like extravagant, like exuberance and bigger, the larger the light. So like, it's well, this is kind of what I was trying to say about the different boxes, is that it's almost like, oh, if you want to be this open-minded, big, kind of this open-minded, non-judgmental creature, you are put in the fabulous box. But also, the things that go with that are, you have to be big and glittery and sparkly. Like, if you're in the lesbian box, you have to like vaginas and things being pink and fluffy and...
But you also must have a vagina.
You must have a vagina. I mean, like...
Why can't I be a lesbian?
It's like when you go to a feminist night and you sit there making vagina cupcakes and you're like, I'm not obsessed. Do you know what I mean? It's like the association of things when people come together to try and explore these issues, and there's like this for what reason we're making vagina ceramics. And I'm like, I like vaginas, but I don't, being a feminist doesn't mean I want to suck vagina cupcakes.
But the thing with F being not with these boxes is that everybody in those boxes can be an F.
Oh right,
F is made up of all of those.
Yeah, so there's less boxes and more.
You
it's
can
getting
have
more Venn
fabulous
diagram-y,
lesbians and fabulous T's and fabulous pansexuals and fabulous.
It's kind of like big.
Maybe F is something that is attached to you. So maybe like there's a giant F in the sky, and F sends out grappling hooks into each box.
Right.
So and then attaches an F to a person in the box. So you've got like an FT and an FG and an FL and an FI and an FP and an FH and an
Sounds like a personality test, the INFP.
Yeah.
You're a FFFJ. FFFX. I suppose so. Categories that are exclusive are less. Is it the choosing of a category to the exclusion of all others which is a problem, or that makes this difficult? So, you have to say, I'm either this or that or the other.
That's what I'm questioning, I guess, is the importance of having the category. Why is the category? Why is that box important? Why is it important for that box to exist? Okay, I get it, it's a security thing, it's about a belonging thing, but does really the box should be no more significant than your star sign? Should it? It should just be like, oh, I'm a G. Let's move on.
That's my birthday.
What's your job?
That's my colour. I'm a G.
It's irrelevant now. Let's just carry on and have this relationship. We don't need to talk about your G.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
needs to be that, and it needs to be.
It helps.
I don't know.
It helps us to understand our expectations of people.
Yeah.
So, I mean, obviously, like, until I knew you were gay, I was hoping we'd get it on.
Yeah.
But, like...
And then we got it on, and then I realised I was gay.
You hated
Halfway
my
through, I
penis.
was like, sorry. Sorry, I can't go.
Yeah, it was a great excuse though, wasn't it? You're just like, I don't
do girls.
It's girls. It's not you, darling. It's just
It's me. It's just that I'm in this box and you're in the other box, so we can't physically get to each other because it's different boxes.
And it helps us to find people who are interested in similar things, which is important, helpful.
Yeah. Because you go into the H club and you find all the other horses that you can talk to, or you go to the L club and you find all the other L's that you can talk to, and then you know that in that group of people, those people are. But does it stop us having those interesting conversations around, hi, I'm interested in you, I find you attractive, what is this about? So instead we short circuit to, oh, I'm in a gay club, don't even approach me. Do you know what I mean? Yeah.
And I found this quite interesting in Berlin because obviously a lot of the clubs began as gay clubs, or there are a lot of gay clubs, and there are many gay clubs which now let in
people.
Well, yeah,
L's
let in women and
W's.
yeah, and there's the question around, if you're in a gay club as a woman who is interested in having sex with men, is it okay for you to do that in that club? What is the protocol around that, and how do you respect a space that's been set up as a gay space?
Yeah.
How do you? But how and what is it okay to do in those spaces? What
and what is it okay to do in the space? What was the answer?
I don't know. I mean, I saw many non-gay sexual acts happening in that space, and felt that it was okay for women and men to have sex together in those clubs. From what I saw other people doing, but I suppose,
what wasn't okay in the clubs?
What wasn't okay?
What did you see that wasn't okay?
How do you mean?
Was everything okay?
Well, I suppose, I mean, to who? I don't know, because...
Was anyone upset?
I didn't see anyone being upset.
No.
But I suppose, you'll read blog posts of people being upset that women are in gay clubs doing things with men.
But you'll read blog posts about anyone being upset that anyone was somewhere doing something with someone. So, yeah, those are the people that need to get out of their H boxes and have a proper look around.
I think it's interesting when it comes to
not even H boxes,
communication, like how I suppose so the idea of having clubs for certain sexualities is obviously, you can see where it's come from, why we started having that.
Yeah.
But now that is
it feels
a thing that exists,
nowadays.
it's kind of like, oh, but what about people who just want to go to clubs and be able to express their sexuality in those clubs?
In any club. Yay! Very quickly, fabulous, not fabulous. Let's finish this on a little, very quick fire game.
Oh, yeah, okay.
I did this with Nick.
Yeah.
So yeah, fabulous, not fabulous. You heard it on podcast number 2. I'll go for the same words, see how they compare. 1 or 2 words. Outrageous.
Fabulous.
Sparkle.
Fabulous.
Spake.
What?
Spake.
Steak?
Yeah.
Don't know what that is.
Tate.
What?
Potate.
Fabulous.
Nose.
Just the way you said it, fabulous.
Cunt.
Fabulous.
Cheese.
Fabulous.
Omnipresent.
Fabulous.
Foof.
Fabulous.
Floofy.
Fabulous.
Aglet.
What?
Aglet.
No.
Dave.
No.
Sproglet.
Yes, fabulous.
Rickshaw.
Ooh, no?
Wow.
Yes.
Sunshine.
Yes.
Moonlight.
Yeah.
Formica.
Yes.
Slug.
Yeah.
French.
You didn't use that on Nick.
No, I missed it. French.
French, yeah.
Food.
Yeah.
Peacock.
Yeah.
Tupperware.
No. Yes.
Orange.
Yeah.
Fame.
Yeah.
Extravaganza.
Oh.
Sensational.
Yep.
Drag.
Yep.
Bubble.
Yep.
Fabergé egg.
Don't even need to answer that one.
Strawberry.
Yep.
Last one. Bum lasers.
No, absolutely not.
Wow, they're all fabulous words. Have them.
I think it might have had something to do with the way you read them out.
Oh. Do I need to be more like extravaganza?
And that would help.
Take.
Yeah.
Bum lasers. Dr Kate Knowledge.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Oh, thank you.
Love you.
It's been lovely.
Any parting shots for the listeners?
Fine shots, just, keep it slimy.
Keep it slimy. Put yourselves in the S box. Sexy slug. Night, everyone.
Night.
Listen to all the other podcasts if you haven't yet, and we'll be back in 2 weeks' time with our next special guest. Anyway, thank you. Good night. Love you. Bye.